Hello, my friend. If you have sciatica or low back pain, I'm going to share with you in this video some of my very favorite moves to alleviate pain in this area. My beautiful friend and 300-hour YTT grad, Elizabeth, is going to be demoing. Let's come on to the mat. So to begin, just come sit in Dandasana, staff pose, which basically just means sit with your legs out in front of you. So just like Elizabeth is here. And if sitting in this position makes you round in your low back, you just kind of show them like slouchy, I want you to get a folded blanket and put that underneath your seat or booty so you can be a little bit more propped up. You can also choose to bend the knees, right? So you can sit up with a nice tall spine. The very first thing we'll do is just pull the right knee into the chest. So right sole of foot will be on the ground. And if you are leaning back, hold the shin here so you can kind of keep yourself upright. And we're gonna come into a twist. This is really great for sciatica. Some of you will wanna take your right hand behind you and then just hold, like hook your elbow around the knee. Nice. So you can come into this gentle twist. These twists are so good for sciatic pain. Some of you might want to actually take this right foot and cross it over the left, okay? If that's causing you to round or slouch, don't do this. Otherwise, you can do that and then hook the elbow in the same way around the knee, get taller and longer, open across the chest, and exhale, come into this really nice twist. Beautiful. Notice how Elizabeth has her left leg really strong and active with the toes flexed back. It's perfect. And ideally, you're finding a little bit of a stretch along the outer right seat. You feel that at all, Elizabeth? Mm-hmm. Yeah. And if you have the foot crossed, really press down through the right big toe. Let's do 2 more breaths here. Good. Nice. And then we'll slowly transition to the other side. So if you cross the leg over, uncross it. Extend it long, and then we'll pull the left sole of foot to the floor, hug, and then again, option 1, you're just going to twist, so take this time the left hand behind you and hug the knee into the crook of the elbow. Yep. So this is option 1. This might feel like enough. If you want to up the intensity, just like Elizabeth is going to show, you'll cross the foot over the thigh, really being mindful to press down through the left big toe. And then again, you're hugging the knee into the crook of the elbow, getting taller, pressing both sits bones into the ground, and breathing into that outer left seat. Nice. 2 more deep breaths. Good. And then gently release that leg. Take both legs out long just for a moment, shake them out. And we'll come into an all-fours position. So shoulders over wrists, hips over knees. Some of you may be familiar with cat-cow, and this is kind of like a left to right cat-cow with your booty. So Elizabeth, I want you to bump your hips all the way over to the left. Now go back into a child's pose. Down through the right or left, doesn't matter, and then come on back up. So the goal is kind of like, is if you could make this motion as wide as possible. So taking the hips all the way over to the left side of the mat, all the way over as if they were gonna overhang the right side of the mat, and then your booty comes down all the way towards your heels. So again, we're stretching these outer hip areas that often get overlooked and are often really contributing to our sciatic pain. Do 1 more, and then reverse the direction of the spiral. Good, so just go the other way, opposite direction. Really think about getting the hips as far left and right as you can. Nice, and then bring this back into a more traditional cat-cow. So inhaling, broadening across the chest. Exhale, looking at your belly button. So coming into that Halloween cat shape. And then changing this up, inhale, cow pose, broaden across the collarbones. This time, let your exhale take you all the way back into child's pose. Nice. And we're going to make this fluid. So inhale, come on up, cow, just a couple rounds. Your out breath, hips to heels, child's pose, but make it slow and controlled, just like Elizabeth's showing. Hips towards heels. 3 more like this. So here we're removing a lot of stagnation that can build up in the hips. Your sciatic nerve runs all the way. It's crazy. From your lumbar spine, your low back, to the soles of your feet. Good, let's do one more. And this time stay in child's pose and just take your hands to your back. So she's just gonna take one hand on top of the other, palms face up to the ceiling, just like that. And now we're gonna work on strengthening this area. So we've been doing some feel-good movements, which is great, bringing awareness and stretching to this area, but we also need to strengthen the low back for so many of us in order for that sharp shooting sciatic pain to go away. Strengthen this area. So when I cue it, I'm gonna cue an inhalation. What I want you to do, watch Elizabeth for this first one, come up to standing on your knees. So as you breathe in, reach the arms up towards the sky. This is called Bali Seal, big inhale. And then exhale, she's gonna come back to that child's pose, but really slowly, mindfully. This is where all the work is. It looks easy from the outside, but this is actually really challenging, even for me, to come slow and controlled. Opposite palm on top. Yep, and then she's gonna breathe in slowly. So you're using your core here. I want you using your low back muscles. And then exhale, slow motion moving through molasses or honey is what you're visualizing here. Opposite palm on top. Let's do 2 more. If you do this very slowly, it's an incredible low back strengthener. Nice. So this is a great routine. These moves in particular, come back to these every day. You will see a huge improvement in your sciatica over time. Last one. Nice. And then just rest, relax in this child's pose. Gorgeous. Take a deep breath into your low back. And then we're going to come to lie down on our back to finish with one of my very favorite stretches. So Elizabeth, let's keep your head towards this side of the mat. Turn around and just lie down on your back. Now, this one is called Reclined Gomukasana. You can also just call it pretzel legs. So Elizabeth's going to take her soles of the feet to the floor as a first step. And then take the left leg over the right and try to nestle your knees in towards one another. So you can move your right foot over, great, just like she's showing. So it's like you're making a little pretzel shape, and then I want you to hold opposite ankles. So she's gonna reach, and if you can't hold your ankles, a block or a cushion under the head, so get some pillows from your couch or whatever. If you need to have your head up in this position, which will be the case for a lot of you, support yourself here, support your neck. For Elizabeth, she's okay, so she can just have her head flat on the ground. Notice how she's holding the ankles here. Big, big stretch for the outer hip on both sides. Now there's some things I want you to experiment with here to make this feel even deeper and better for you at home. One is to flex the feet. So experiment with flexing the feet as opposed to having the feet kind of be more pointed. Another is where your ankles are in space. So Elizabeth's going to explore just kind of lifting the ankles up, right? Or then having them a little bit more down. Where's the sweet spot for you in terms of where you feel the biggest stretch?
I feel like up.
Up, right? Up and flexed. So that's where it is for her. So now she can gently, a little bit, I don't love to use the word pull, but she can a little bit pull in traction her shins towards her face, using her hands pulling her ankles. 2 more deep breaths here. This can be really intense. And this is one of those great stretches that you can hold for a long time. Find this one on the couch at night when you're watching Netflix or something like that. All right, and let's switch it to the other side. So you can take the feet back down to the floor, or a lot of times now that you understand the stretch, or for me, I just kind of do what she's doing. I just whip it so the right thigh is now on top. We're going to go through that same exploration. So remember, if you need to lift your head up, it's fine. I just want you to put a pillow underneath it. If your sacrum or tailbone is lifting up off the floor, I want you to counteract that. I want you to lengthen the low back. I want you to think of your tailbone lengthening towards the bottom of the mat. And you can do what Elizabeth's doing here too, which is kind of like she's feeling it out, right? She's kind of moving the legs up and down. She's like, ooh, she's finding different stretches in the hips. So let's find a nice place for you to now hold, stay, and take a couple really deep breaths. Nice, slow, audible breathing. Good. Gently let this go. Take the soles of the feet as wide as the mat so you can uncross the legs. Let the knees dip into touch. This is another one of my favorite positions for people with sciatica because it allows the low back to just decompress and relax. And just take a couple breaths here. I hope you've enjoyed seeing some of these of my favorite moves for low back pain, for sciatica. Try these at home and come back to this routine daily if you're really struggling with sciatic pain. I'm sending you so much love from my heart to yours. Namaste.
If you really want to nerd out on yoga, did you know that I have an online yoga teacher training? Yes, you can complete your 200-hour certification, or if you are already a yoga teacher, your 300-500 advanced yoga certification 100% online. Watch this video next for more details on how it works, and download the brochure on my website. From my heart to yours, namaste.